Welcome back for the second half. Like a lot of people, I have many friends, and I have a different relationship with each of them because they have different personalities. Now, I'm telling you this because our next guest, Coralee Holmes, happens to be a friend of mine. Like each guest, she's asked to send in a bio, and that helps me determine what questions I'm going to ask. She said she'd never done a bio before, so I was really interested in reading it. Well, it was fun. It was one of those things that, yeah, and it reaffirmed for me why the two of us are friends. Despite our age difference, I'm at least 20 years older, we have a lot in common. Now that scares her husband, Peter, just a little bit. I must admit, I kind of like that. It appeals to my sometimes warped sense of humor. I am really eager for you to get to know my friend, Coralee Holmes.
Coralee!
I'm so pleased you could make it.
I'm happy you invited me.
So have a seat here. So Coralee, one thing I wanted to talk about first is your husband, Peter. Now, what bothers him about when you and I get together? What is that?
He's afraid that we're actually going to do some of the stuff we hatch. The plans, the things we think of. And some of them we do.
I know, but we've never done anything to him.
No, but I think he's worried because his first wife, they used to hatch plans on how to kill him in the kitchen.
Oh, yikes. Well, I have an idea. Yeah. I really have a good idea. Peter, you're going to love this. What if we do something for him? Then it's over with, and then he no longer has to worry about it. What do you think?
Like what?
Well, it's something we have to think about. No, well, I don't want to say it now.
Okay.
Yeah, we could. Peter.
I think, too, he's a little bit nervous because we come up with some pretty wild things.
I know.
And stuff he would never, ever think of in a million years. His brain just doesn't work like that.
I know. I think it's stressful for him. I mean, we really should do something to him personally and get that out of the way.
Well, we did that video. You remember the 30-second video?
Yes.
He starred in that. He was very stressed for that.
Yes.
That scared the heck out of him. Yeah, that was fun.
Moving on.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to talk about the places you've lived. Now, I counted 13.
Oh, okay. Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. Chilliwack, obviously. Victoria. Why were you in Victoria?
My dad used to work for Defense Canada, the Federal Defense Department. They had a defense place in Kamloops where he worked originally, but they closed that, and they moved him to Victoria to work on the docks.
Okay.
He's an electrician, industrial electrician. So we moved there. I think he lost his job about a year after we moved there. But we just, for whatever reason, we stayed there the longest.
Okay.
I think we were there 8 years.
So you were born in Kamloops. Did you go from Kamloops to Victoria?
Yes, but we went from Kamloops to Smithers, Kamloops to Terrace, Kamloops to Kitimat. Kamloops was like the home base.
Okay.
We kept coming back to, but that's where I was born, yeah.
There's some of these places I'd never heard of. Hudson's Hope, where's that?
That's way up north. It's near the border of the Yukon and British Columbia.
Oh.
It's up there, and it's on the coast.
Oh, okay.
So,
Heffley Creek?
yeah, it's a little tiny place just outside of Kamloops. It's about 25 minutes out of Kamloops, going towards Barrier, which everyone will know Barrier because of the fire a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Some of these names I've heard of, like Pritchard.
You've heard of Pritchard?
I've heard of it.
Really?
I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Okay, because it's like a blink and you miss it town.
Oh, maybe I'm making that up then. Port Edward. Where's Port Edward?
That's near Prince Rupert. It's about 30 minutes south of Prince Rupert.
All right.
Along the coast.
And Shepparton. Is that Shepparton, England?
It is.
What on earth took you to England?
My dad. His dad is from England originally, and his dad passed away when my dad was really young. And so my dad decided to pack up his entire family. I think I was 5 at the time. Right. My sister was 2. My brother was 3. And we all moved to Shepparton, England, and we lived there for a year.
So your dad was kind of nomadic, wasn't he?
He's a bit of a gypsy, yeah.
Does that mean you went to different schools in all these places?
Yes.
I thought I went to a lot of schools, but I only had 7.
I didn't go to a single school for 2 years in a row until I hit grade 11 and 12. I did those in Mount Doug.
That must have been tough.
It was and it wasn't. Like, looking back on it, that experience gave me so much experience in different things.
Okay.
And different people.
Yeah.
City living versus country living versus in between living versus, making it out on your own in the middle of nowhere,
right,
kind of stuff. So it gave me a lot of experiences. As a kid, I mean, you were always the new person in, which you can use to your advantage or it can be a total disadvantage. And I figured out how to use it mostly to my advantage. You're the mysterious new girl, right?
So yeah, very good. Now I know you took nursing in Victoria.
I did my diploma in Kamloops, actually.
Oh,
at Royal Inland.
How long does it take to become a nurse?
Well, I kind of took the long route too.
Oh, all right.
But when I was in the nursing program, Kamloops, you had to get in by they auditioned you basically to get into the program. And
really?
Yeah. So the first year I failed the audition. The second year I got in, and the program at Kamloops was 4 years, and everywhere else was 2. So, or actually it was 3 years. And halfway through my training, they decided to make it a bachelor's degree to end. But I didn't have to do that for the end of mine. So I just got my diploma.
Oh, all right then.
Then a few years later, I went to Univic, University of Victoria, and got my bachelor's degree of nursing.
So that's all these schools then, more schooling.
Yeah.
And different schools each time. Gee whiz, Coralee. Okay.
I love new.
Yeah, you better, right? Just hold your thoughts here for just a second, because it's time for another break, but we'll be right back, so stay tuned. Well, we're back, and I'm here with my friend Coralee Holmes. So Coralee, you sent in your bio, and it's got a multitude of unfinished projects. I find it kind of intriguing, some of it. You have belly dancing. Like, that would say you stopped halfway through a belly dance to be unfinished, wouldn't it?
Well, belly dancing is it takes years, and I was in it for 6 years, which is long.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a dancer to begin with, so it takes longer.
And you've tried knitting and crochet.
Yeah, I have a blanket that I've been crocheting for 20-odd years. It's about this long now.
How could you keep it that long without finishing? I mean, I would just throw it away.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it all goes in its same bag, and then there's special wool that I use because I'm using thin wool with that one, so it goes in the bag. And then in the winter, I used to pull it out because it would cover your lap, and you crochet away while you're watching TV.
That's true. I prefer to knit and crochet in the winter. Yeah. Okay, and you've tried...
And then I lost my cable, so I couldn't crochet anymore.
What?
When I got divorced, I had to cut back on my bills, and one of the things that went was my cable.
Right.
So that was the end of crocheting, because...
You do it with the TV on.
Yeah, it's hard to crochet with nothing to watch or do, right?
I'm totally the same way. Absolutely, I agree. Okay, and you've tried sewing.
Yeah.
And card making. So that's like birthday cards and that sort of thing?
Yeah, and that I got hundreds of stamps. But the fun part I like is the stamping. I don't really care too much about putting stuff together, so I have lots of bits and pieces of card stuff everywhere.
Okay.
Nothing really to show for it.
Photography. I thought you were still doing that.
I am, yeah. I have a girlfriend who's been taking classes, and then she and I go out and I learn from her.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
It's kind of cool, yeah.
Okay. Calligraphy. Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it?
That one I've done since I was a kid, and I can still do calligraphy fairly well. You get out of practice, but it's easy to get back in once you...
Stamping. I figured that would be easy. You just take your foot and you go, stamp, stamp. No?
That's a Spanish dance, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Woodworking?
Yeah. I bought a bandsaw. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm so
Just
envious.
fiddling things around and trying not to chop your fingers off. But I had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a table saw and I love it, but that's the only major tool that I have. Gardening. You still do gardening though, I know that. And now this is what you put in your unfinished projects is sort of weird. It says, I love to read nonfiction. How? No, that doesn't fit in there.
Yes, it does. I have about 6 books on the go right now. And I don't think I've finished a book in years. I'll get halfway through, and then I'll get through into another book, and I'll get partway through that one.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
they're
my
unfinished.
gosh. Okay, now this here, again, this is a really fun one here. This is to do with your pets, all right? Listen up, folks. 2 cats, one indoor 21-year-old and another outdoor kitty about 18 years old, 1 giant dog, 110 pounds, that is a giant dog, as well as, now this is under pets, a 6'3" retired husband.
I didn't realize it.
I just think that is just so funny, that you put Peter under there. Oh, Peter, you like that? Anyway, and then there's all these places that you've traveled or will be going to. So I know you've been to England. I didn't know you went to the Netherlands. That's nice. Hungary and Germany. Of course, if you're going to be over in Europe, right? Yeah. And you're going to Russia.
Yes, 2017, I can't wait.
I think you should take me.
So cool. You would fit in the suitcase, I'm sure.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, right? That way I wouldn't have to buy a ticket, because it can't be cheap to...
It's not. And we're doing it with Viking river cruises. We're going from St. Petersburg to Moscow on the Volga River.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple of spots, islands that we're stopping at that are historical sites,
Right.
things like that. So I don't know much Russian history at all. Like North Americans were really cut off from that kind of
Absolutely.
history. So, and they have thousands of years of history. I mean, they have Viking history, they have Nordic history. They've got thousands more than we do here in North America.
Right. My son has been to Moscow, and he said he just loved it there. We thought it was great. And of course, the buildings are very ornate, right? Went with the time of the czars and whatever like that. Okay.
The really cool thing is that those buildings haven't been bombed to pieces either, which a lot of the rest of Europe has been rebuilt.
Right.
Like when we went to Hungary, all the buildings were rebuilt. We stayed up on the hill in King's, the old castle, and it had been 100% rebuilt because it had been bombed to crap in World War II, right? Whereas Russia has never been bombed. So the buildings are all the same as they were built when they were built.
You said crap on camera.
Do I get in trouble for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What should I have used?
Poo.
Bomb the poo out of them? They just bombed the poo out of them.
But we're going to let that in anyway. Maybe nobody will notice. Okay, now I know you went to south of Spain because you have a friend that lives there, right?
Yeah, we
That was
spent
nice.
5 weeks in Spain. We did 7,000 kilometers on our rental car.
Wow, that's a lot of rental car. That's not what I meant to say. Okay, so and was last year? Yeah, you did that trip across Canada by train.
Yes, by train. We thought we'd see the country, how it was built.
That has to have been such a unique type of way to travel across Canada, right?
That's cool. I wouldn't do it again. I'm glad we did it, but I think I would recommend the train to Jasper anytime, Jasper or Banff from Vancouver. So you take the, I can't remember what it's called now.
Just make up a name.
Okay, the railway.
There you go.
But it's beautiful through the canyons and into the mountains. It's stunning scenery that you see from the train. And then, but across the prairies, we did the northern part of the prairies, so it's very rolling hills, pretty,
Right,
really
yeah.
pretty.
Right.
And then the cities, like Montreal was amazing. I wish we'd spent more time there. Montreal is so amazing.
Yeah, I lived there for years. I don't find it the same anymore, though. You know, when you've been away for such a long time, you go back and so many things have changed. Okay, now where was it? It says something about where your husband proposed for you. Where did that go? Oh, here it is, at the top of a Moorish castle in Marbella. Marbella.
Yeah, the double L in Spanish is a Y, in Marbella, which is
Okay.
fancy. It's fancy. That's where all the rich people in Europe go, is Marbella. And they have this big Moorish castle that they're starting to restore.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go on the inside of the castle. I wanted to go the outside first and then go down in the inside.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize how steep the hill was, and it's quite a hill. And Peter thought he was going to die before he reached the top. So he got 3/4 of the way, and he proposed to me. He said, "If I don't make it to the top."
That is so cool. I
Yeah.
love that. Now, speaking of husbands, let's talk. We only have a few minutes here. Let's talk about your first husband. Okay. I'm going to read this out because I married my first husband in jail via Wicca ceremony and divorced him in jail via a smart lawyer. That is just so, I love this. I mean, how did you meet him? Was he already in jail?
He was,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So my brother's in jail. He's on a life sentence.
Oh, my goodness.
And so this was a gentleman that I met in jail. And, you know, I was 29, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm almost 30. I have to get married. And I was busy, didn't really have any.
And you're a rescuer.
And I'm a rescuer.
I know that about
So
you.
this guy was sweet and adorable and fun. So we got married, and he was supposed to come out of prison the next year. But we got married in prison, and we had a choice between a Wiccan priestess or a Catholic priest. And neither one of us liked the Catholic priest, so the Wiccan priestess it was.
That is so funny. Well, we're just about out of time, but I know we are both members of the Optimist Club. So I want you to just quickly talk about your newest idea for us. I love it, for Optimist Club.
So we're trying to figure out how we can get engaged as a club. And one of the ideas was that we would go to one of the local stores, Superstore, Shoppers, Drug Mart, or not Shoppers, Safeway, and not really stalk people, but look and see who looked deserving or poor or had a lot of kids in the family, that kind of stuff, and pick that person and pay their groceries.
That would be so cool. I can't wait for that to
So
happen.
wait till they get to the till and then pay for their groceries.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those feel-good things. You know, it happens a lot in Chilliwack. You'll be driving through Tim Hortons and they'll go, oh no, that guy ahead of you got paid for your coffee. And
Absolutely, yeah. If I get a grocery cart where you have to put in a coin, I always leave the coin in when I return my, because like somebody else can use it, right? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Coralee, we're out of time, so we're going to have to do this again at another date, I think. But I appreciate you being here, yeah. That's it for this time. You know how to get in touch with me or the show if you want to. If you have any comments, you can call and leave a message on Shaw's voicemail, or go to Facebook and look for Getting to Know You. You can put something on there. Even a like would be nice. Or you can email me personally at nancy_talk@shaw.ca. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out.